Yes, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video today. Today, we are looking at the Season 2 review for my Wolverhampton Wanderers save here on FM 2021. Hope you guys are keeping well and safe. And once again, I really appreciate the support that you've shown on the YouTube channel. But more in particular, obviously, the Twitch channel. All of this save is being streamed live over on twitch.tv/DaveAsAParty. A link to that is in the description, and we're streaming more or less daily at the moment as well. But before we kick off, I've got a message from our friends over at Super Club Soccer. Super Club Soccer is a turn-based free-to-play football game which is available now on Steam. You can create a player, customize them to your liking, and then take them and play with people from around the world. Each player in a team is individually controlled, which means you can team up with your friends or other players and create a club with your own badge, kits, and to take on other teams in tournaments. You can play 5-a-side or 11-a-side, and you can have a 3D or 2D view for the tactical turn-based gameplay. As I said, Super Club Soccer, link in the description, free to download on Steam. And that obviously brings us on to our end of season review. So quite similar to the last video. If you've not caught the Season 1 review, be sure to go and check that one out. We've got the Season 2 review where we're going to be looking a little bit more in depth. It was an even crazier season, and Season 3, which is obviously kicked off on my Twitch already, is going to be an amazing one as well. So first things first, we're going to check out the transfers. If you guys have not seen anything on my social medias or whatever, this is going to be a crazy one. So we're going to move on to the transfers, which we'll obviously look a little bit more in depth at shortly. But Mason Greenwood obviously being the big one. You can see the big fee there, but we will talk about that a lot more later on. But Mason Greenwood came in, played 31 games, scored 31 goals. Unfortunately, the lower number of games is mainly due to him being injured quite substantially towards the end of the season, but got 7 assists as well. And you could argue that's a ridiculous record for a striker at any level, really. Next up was Sergio Gomez, who was coming in on a free already. Didn't really play many games. You can see he played 1, had 2 appearances off the bench, so not a huge season for him, but obviously came in on a free, so didn't play a huge amount. With the exit of John Ruddy at the end of the season, we brought in Vilka Farinez as a backup goalkeeper for just £1.8 million. He just wanted to be the domestic goalkeeper, really, and we brought him in, and he played 5 games for the club. A big signing, really, for just £10 million was Angelino, left wing-back from Manchester City. I was searching for a left wing-back, really. Obviously, Johnny had gone. Ryan Aït-Nouri, we didn't end up buying, if I'm honest. So, Angelino came in, and you know what? Very, very good player. Very good player for the money. I was just looking through options, asking agent the availability of some of these players, and he was valued at £30 million, and he's done extremely well. 1 goal with 14 assists, and he played, more or less, you can see, 52 games for the club there. We brought in a couple of young Portuguese players. Diogo Nacimento, who's an unbelievable talent, by the way. We can't quite get the work permit for him. We got him for a very small amount of money. We approached to sign him, got him coming in on a free, and I think we made it permanent a little bit earlier for a very minimal fee. Same as Vasco Souza as well, another young Portuguese player with a lot of promise. In terms of big signings, again, though, we look at Boubacar Kamara, who came in from Marseille to sit in that middle role, that libero role, for £50 million. A lot of these deals are with instalments, by the way, so obviously take a lot of them with a little pinch of salt. But yeah, very, very good talent, really good player. 17 passing, 14 dribbling. So as a libero, really, he's a very, very complete and good player. Ronaldo Sanchez came in at the start of the season as well. 24 years of age, coming in from Lille, Portuguese player, so suits us quite well. Really, really happy with him, and you can see by his attributes there, a really quality and talented player. Eder Militao, this is has got a hell of a story with it. As you can see, we signed him for £16 million on deadline day of the January window. Now, if I'm honest, he was my first choice to be a libero. I'd argue that Kamara is a better libero than Militao, to be fair, but he showed up as a player that could have possibly come in. I bid with a lot of instalments, up to £95 million for Eder Militao, which was accepted. And then the board pulled the plug on the deal because he wasn't Portuguese and they wanted to sign Portuguese players. So, as you could tell, I was a little bit wound up, a little bit upset about that one. We went and signed, obviously, Boubacar Kamara. And then on deadline day, I saw Militao available for £16 million. Just 2 weeks after we'd had a £95 million deal pulled. So, I spoke to the board, said, look, we've got to get this deal done. And they said, yeah, sound okay. So £16 million for a player that we nearly paid up to £95 million for, which was ridiculous, really. Mukhtar Diakabi as well came in. He was one of the powerful defender that we wanted to bring in. And you can see a really big guy, 6'4", but still physically very good, and heading at 17 as well. Grabbed himself a couple of goals. Gaetano Castrovilli came in, a central midfield option for £24 million. Again, activated his release clause. Very happy with his contribution. Guilherme Montoya is another young Portuguese player that came in on a free, who's currently again out on loan in America. Valentino Lazaro came in as well for just $4.83 million. Who's going to be a backup right wing back for Nelson Semedo. But historically on FM over the last few years, been a good player. Matheus Henrique as well came in for just £15 million. So happy with his signing as well. And the final player was on a free, Manuel Ugarte, who is a lot of people are raving about this year on Football Manager. Look how good his attributes are, just so consistent and solid. And we brought him in on a free transfer. Now, transfers out, you think those are big players. We had some big transfers out. Leander Dendoncker went for just £6 million. A little bit of an annoying one because I felt we could have got more money. We had bids of about £20 million. But his contract was up at the end of the season. He wasn't playing. He wasn't renewing. So we ended up cashing in on him in January. Marcel also left at the start of the season. Didn't really play much for me in the first season, if I'm honest. So again, we cashed in on him for just under £1 million just to get him off the wage bill. Oscar Burr, we got 1.36 million for. He went to Stoke. So again, happy with that amount of money for a player that wasn't playing. John Ruddy left the club on a free, ended up joining DC United. Christopher Hyder as well. We only signed him last season. We decided to cash in. We got a bit extra money for him, so we didn't lose money on him. But he went to Marseille. Lawrence Shankland as well, who's the backup striker last season, went to Santos Laguna in Mexico. So again, made a little bit of money on him. Conor Ronan went to AS Saint Etienne for 1.47 million. And the big one was Ruben Neves. He left to join Manchester City for £100 million, all up front. Disappointing one. But ever since that summer transfer window closed, I had a news box item probably every couple of weeks up until January. And it was for Manchester City chasing Neves. They were sending scouts to look at him. They were getting Kevin De Bruyne to talk about him. So I knew a bid was going to come in. I think they initially bid about 50 million and it got them all the way up to 100 million, where they were happy to pay that amount in full up front. So at the time, it seemed a good idea. It was a bit of a nightmare to replace, if I'm honest, because you look at his attributes and it's very, very difficult to replace a player with those attributes. The players that are wanted were either going to cost around that much or weren't quite that level, or there were some that during the African Cup of Nations, obviously the January transfer window. So that was a bit of a nightmare. A couple of players didn't want to leave during the African Cup of Nations. So it was a bit of a nightmare, really. Dion Sanderson also left. He went to Bristol City for 2.4 million. Morgan Gibbs-White as well came back from his loan deal, and then we sold him straight away to Watford for 6.3. Rafa Mir as well. We got 5 million for Rafa Mir from Torino. Leonardo Capana also left for 3.1 million. Jordao left for 8.3 million. Renat Dadashov left to go to Famalicão for just under £1 million. Johnny came to me at the end of the season, last season, and just said, look, I want to leave as soon as he got back from injury. So we got 25 million for him. And obviously, Catrone's deal was made permanent to Fiorentina. Dong Dehi went to Sunderland, and Terry Taylor went to Preston. So we've got a lot of big results here now. As you can see, the board wanted us to get to qualify for the Europa League. And we did that. Again, we got another third place finish, which I'm sure, we finished third place in the first season. This one wasn't as close as the first season. You can see United ran away with it, really, winning the league very, very comfortably. We finished in third. Liverpool in second there with 88 points. But we can be happy with our performance. Us and Chelsea, fairly close, but we were pretty much clear of Arsenal in fifth place. You could see... I think moments to remember we'll look at a little bit more, and we'll look at the fixtures a little bit more in depth shortly. We were in the Club World Championship, or we're going to be in the Club World Championship, so we'll have a recap of that at the end of next season to see how we get on in that. I'll leave the Champions League till last. The Carabao Cup, unfortunately, we knocked out against Fulham on penalties. We beat Liverpool 2-0 away, and then we lost out to Fulham, so they were a little bit disappointed by that. In the FA Cup, we... Beat Ipswich away 2-0. We beat Fleetwood away 2-0. We beat Fulham 4-1 and then knocked out in the quarterfinal by Everton 1-0, which was a little bit annoying. The board wanted us to get to the quarterfinal. We did, but I felt that was winnable this season. And the big one was the Champions League. We finished runners-up in the Champions League. An amazing run. We had a group of PSG, Dortmund and Dynamo Kiev. We got through that. We as you can see there, we were unbeaten until the final game. I think we still won the group. We smashed Dortmund twice. We beat them 4-1 and 5-0. We then beat Marseille in the first knockout round. Then smashed both Juve and Real Madrid in the quarterfinal and then semi-final. But then we played up against Manchester City, and let's have a look at this game because it was a really, really annoying game of football, if I'm honest, because they had just sacked Bielsa before this game. What had happened was they won the Champions League in their first season. They sacked Pep after winning the Champions League and brought in Bielsa. And then due to their league performances, sacked Bielsa maybe 3 or 4 weeks before the season ended and had a caretaker manager for this game. And you can see the stats there. You can see the XG. It's so disappointing that we didn't get anything out of the game. They played Kevin De Bruyne up top. They went 1-0 up. We missed a penalty with Jimenez. We then equalised. And then Kevin De Bruyne and Leon Bailey scored twice. Because at the end, we went for it a little bit, if I'm honest. But you could just see our XG was so much higher than theirs. And it was really frustrating that we lost that game 4-1. But to get to a Champions League final is as you know, is ridiculous in season 1. So in season 2 rather. So it was a little bit annoying. I felt we could have won the game. We should have won the game. But here we are. Champions League final in season 2 is nothing to be disappointed about. Our biggest win was actually a 6-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur. We were 1-0 down in this game. Let's have a look at the goals for this one. Jesus Corona scored the opening goal in that game. But we went on to win. We went on to win 6-1. Can we watch the goals from this game? Let's have a look if we can watch the goals. Obviously Spurs there playing a 4-2-3-1. We've been sticking with our 5-2-3 a lot, to be fair. I don't know if we can see the goals. I don't really want to watch the full game. But let's see the goals from the match. I think you know what? Let me just show the individual goals rather than me having to go through all of this. Oh, I've gone a bit too far. Yeah, let's just look at the individual goals. Because Adama, as you can see, Adama scored 4 in this game. So in the lovely Portuguese kit, Adama was lethal in this match. You see Semedo here played it into Adama, smashed it in at the near post. That was a lovely goal. And then his second goal was just after half time. So some of his goals on the counter, Castrovilli as well was such a big part. He was one of the Neves replacements. This goal as well just passes it into the near post as well there. Adama to grab his second goal of the game. So really happy with that one. His hat-trick goal was just shortly after as well. But you can see, look how pinned back we had Spurs at this point. We did really well. Diacabi again, Adama almost identical. But this one, he just absolutely belts his foot through. And I was really, really happy with that. And his goal, 61st minute, it was such a quick run of goals for him as well. Diacabi bursted forward. Our centre-back, Semedo, played it to Silva. And a little pass to Adama, who beats the goalkeeper. A lot of the passing moves on FM21. If you haven't got the game, the passing moves, just get the game purely because of the passing moves. Because it's so good in front of goal when you've got a team that knows how to use the ball. Match to remember, it was a 2-0 win over Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. And again, as you can see there, Adama Traoré got goal of the season. I think this was a goal where he just ran the length of the pitch with the ball. We've seen him do this a couple of times, if I'm honest, throughout the seasons. But you can see this one is a very memorable goal. Picks it up from our own corner here, beats Cantwell to the ball, and just runs the length of the pitch. Literally no one stopping him and just smashes it past the goalkeeper. Really, really nice goal. And he's scored a couple of those, to be fair. The way he moves, the way he gets the assists for those as well. Really, really happy with his contribution again. As you can see, in terms of finances, Adama was the most sold shirt. We've got a few Greenwoods and Raúls, Ronaldo Sanchez and Castrovilli as well, getting some shirt sales. Our broadcast revenue was down very, very slightly, but everything else in terms of finances was up. I'm quite surprised at broadcast revenue, but just one of those. And how we lined up, I would argue that's probably about right, but I'll show you, the system that we used predominantly this season. We didn't win any managerial awards, but fans player of the season was Adama, young player of the season was Greenwood, signer of the season was Angelino. I'd argue that it was Greenwood, but Angelino still did okay. Goal of the season, which we saw, was Adama. Top goal scorer this season was Greenwood with 25. Most assists was Renato with 11. That's in the league, by the way, those 25 goals. Most man of the matches and best average rating was also Mason Greenwood. North America Player of the Year, again, is Raul Jimenez. European Golden Shoe, Adama got. African Defender of the Year, Willy Bolly got. World Under-21 Football Player of the Year, European Golden Boy was Mason Greenwood. And he also, even though he missed a good chunk of the season towards the end of the campaign, still got top goal scorer award in the Premier League, along with English Players Young Player of the Year. Just have a look if we broke any other big records. Not really, other than those financial ones. But that is the season review done and dusted. So, in terms of obviously the league, which you've seen there, we finished third. We're going to enter the Club World Championship shortly. Runners up in the Champions League, quarterfinal of the FA Cup, fourth round of the Carabao Cup. The system we predominantly used yet again was this one here. The 5-2-3, which worked well. The front three were doing wonders again. And in terms of the squad itself, obviously we've got Rui and Fabregas. Unfortunately, Rui's contract is up at the end of the season. Still and ahhing whether what to do with him. We've got a lot of players that are fringe players that are wanted as well. Like Max Kilman's not getting a lot of game time. We brought Vinagre into the squad as well, who's obviously out on loan. João Moutinho's contract is up. So I'm not too sure. He's on a big wage, he's not playing much. Adama Traore, again wanted by United and Real Madrid. So we've got a big squad there and a lot of players that could be sold for a little bit of money. We've got a 65 million transfer budget at the moment. We've got Ousmane Dembele coming in, by the way, on a free transfer. Saw him available. Thought, even if we don't play him, I think that we can make a healthy profit on him. Could get him to do a similar job to what Adama's doing, really. But I'm pretty happy that we could maybe cash in on him. Our top goal scorer in all competitions was Adama, who again is using his pace and to full effect, really. 21 goals in the league, 9 goals in the Champions League, 3 in the FA Cup, which means 33 goals in 54 appearances, which is a ridiculous return as well. Really, really happy with that. If I show you, is it general info? No, it was selection info. Most appearances was Patricio by starts, but Adama did play more overall. Most goals was Adama with 33. Greenwood got 31 in all comps. He played 31 in all comps and scored 31. And he had an unbelievable record, 25 and 24 in the league. And in terms of our payments for him, I think it was 40 million up front, 40 million in instalments, and 20 million in bonuses. So we broke that deal quite well. He was unhappy at Manchester United. He wanted a new contract, and I pounced on it, and we got him, and it's a very, very good signing for us, scoring goals for fun. Raul Jimenez as well, still scored another 25 goals, got 9 assists, 22 in the league. Raul, still a cracky player, obviously missed the penalty in the Champions League. He's wanted by Valencia, so a couple of teams wanting him. Fabio Silva still scored 17 goals, even with his limited game time, to be fair. 10 in the league, 6 in the Champions League as well. I mean, if we look at his stats, in the Premier League, a goal every 161 minutes, every 102 minutes in the Champions League. So still a very, very good option to have. Neto didn't play as much, but still when we wanted him, he scored some crucial goals, to be fair, Pedro Neto. And then in terms of assists, Angelino got the most. Angelino's a great player. For £10 million, you look at that crossing, a really, really good player for 10 million quid. So happy to have him at left wing back as well. But Sanchez got 13, Adama got 11, and Semedo getting involved there as well. And the highest average rating is Mason Greenwood, of course, as you would expect. But really, really enjoyed it. In terms of our plans for the season, we need to try and figure out now what we can do to break into that top 2. And, of course, we're in the Champions League again. We had a final last season, and what can we do this season? Who knows? It'll be interesting. There's areas of the team that we do have to strengthen. But as always, you could check it out over on twitch.tv/DayBazzaParty. If you've got any questions about the save, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll try my best to answer them. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. More YouTube content coming out over the next couple of weeks, hopefully, as well. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll catch you all very, very soon.